Hello, is anyone out there? Can you hear me? I'm Aretha at Ground Zero in New York City. I've lived in the US, the Northeast, longer now than I've lived in Jamaica. But some things are still difficult for me to understand. For example, I've heard black men say that black women won't let them be men. However, in the years I lived in Jamaica, I've never heard the statement made by any Jamaican men. Because I'm a natural born researcher, I've tried to find out what letting a man be a man would look like. The desire to understand this statement arose again while I was researching Fannie Lou Hamer. She was born Fannie Lou Townsend on October 6, 1917, in the Mississippi Delta on a sharecropping plantation. She was tricked by the plantation owner into picking cotton by the age of 6. Yep, they didn't care about putting a little toddler to work. She wanted something from the store, and he told her she could pay by picking cotton. She used music to calm the anxieties of her people after horrible things happened, such as lynchings and KKK shootings. And the singing became a special part of her general activism. At the age of 25, she married Perry Pap Hamer. She was sterilized by the hospital without her consent and could not have children. She was a voting and women's rights activist, community organizer, and a leader in the civil rights movement. She did all of this with only a 6th grade education. She was naturally brilliant. Hamer was jailed and beaten for her activism. She stated, "They beat me till my body was hard, till I couldn't bend my fingers or get up when they told me to do so. That's how I got this blood clot in my eyes. The sight's nearly gone now, and my kidney was injured from the blows they gave me in the back." Also, her activism led to near-death experiences. For example, Hamer said, "I walked through the shadows of death because it was on the 10th of September in 1962 when they shot 16 times in a house, and it wasn't a foot over the bed where my head was." So she was almost killed. But the quote that made me think about letting the black man be a man was this one. Hamer said, "I always said that if I lived to get grown and had a chance, I was going to try get something for my mother, and I was going to do something for the black man of the South, if it would cost my life." I was determined to see that things have changed. Hamer died at the age of 59, and current medical professionals believe her body was weathered because of her exposure to racism and discrimination, and of course the beatings she suffered. So, key takeaways from my informal research of African American women in the US, I can say Hamer's passionate concern for the black man is the norm among African American women. African American women overwhelmingly prefer black men, specifically African American men, and have worked tirelessly to protect them from a racist and unjust society. Further, I've never heard the statement about letting a black man be a man said when black women are protesting after some act of police brutality. Rather, I've heard the statements made usually by men who were generally doing well and while they were relatively safe. And that statement is often followed by, "and that is why we date women of other ethnicities." I don't care who people date. Go at it. But I would love someone to explain the statement to satisfy my intellectual curiosity. But on a personal level, I've never been in a relationship with a man who needed to to be allowed to be a man, who needed my permission to be a man, who needed me to be less in order for him to be a man. So was because was Hamer too much of a man